Welcome to Next Level You podcast. I'm Stefanie Dingbaum, your host, your biggest cheerleader, and your go-to girlfriend for real, raw, and uplifting conversations about leveling up in life. As a mental health therapist with over a decade of experience and a business coach helping women elevate their lives and businesses, I'm here to guide you through the mindset shifts, holistic practices, and manifestation tools you need to step into your most authentic, next level self. Whether you're here to ignite your personal growth, elevate your professional game, or simply rediscover you, this podcast is your invitation to dream bigger, go after your goals, and unapologetically claim the life you deserve. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. It's time to up-level, manifest, and glow.
Hello. Welcome to Next Level You podcast, you guys. I had no plans of recording this today, but I ended up having like a quick 20-minute window and I was like, I can definitely get this recorded. And what I have learned through motherhood, just a little FYI, what I have learned through motherhood in these past 9 months is like, when you get an opportunity to do even just like a quick little task for the business, you freaking do it. Because those 15-minute windows, you can get more done than you think. And what I tend to do is I tend to like self-sabotage and tell myself like, no, I need a good solid like 2 or 3 hours to get these things done. When in reality, I'm not going to get that. It's not likely to get that. And if I do get it, it's very rare. So I got to take advantage of these 15, 20-minute windows and actually do something. So anyways, okay, you guys, I just really want to emphasize that if you are not subscribing to my weekly newsletter, please take a minute. I'll put the link in the show notes. Go into the show notes, subscribe to the weekly newsletter. I think you would find a lot of value in it if you love the podcast. And I know I'll be the first to say like emails can be so freaking overwhelming. I totally agree. However, those newsletters that I subscribe to, I actually make time to read those because I see value in what they're sharing with me. If there's a newsletter that I get that I don't get anything out of, I immediately delete it. But if I actually get value from it, then I look forward to receiving it each week. So I really try to pack value into my newsletters. So it's not just another thing in your email inbox. Okay. And I'm trying going into 2026, I'm going to also be more diligent about putting freebies into it. So, but you wouldn't know unless you open it, you know? Okay. So if you haven't subscribed, take a minute, go into the show notes, subscribe to my weekly newsletter. I promise you will not be disappointed. All right. So the whole reason why we're here, I want to talk to you guys all about the power behind silence and solitude and stillness. This is a topic I am very passionate about because I have learned to embrace it in my own life. And I really want you guys to understand why it's so important to be comfortable being alone, to be comfortable sitting in silence. And this is not your fault. This is because of society. A lot of us struggle and are uncomfortable with silence. So if that sounds like you are not alone, you're a part of the majority. I would say I'm more of a unicorn in that way. I crave it. I love it. I love being home alone the days that I work from home. Like the TV never goes on. I don't have anything playing in the background unless it's my affirmations or my subliminals. I just love sitting in silence. I love it. I love being alone with my thoughts. It's why I love going out in nature too. But this is a challenge for a lot of people. And so I really wanted to do an episode on it to really encourage you guys to lean into that discomfort that comes with embracing silence and stillness. And I also want to show you guys how that time of like solitude and stillness can actually be the key to unlocking clarity or intuition or just in-depth personal growth. Okay. All right. So let's just dive right in. So we truly do live in a world that's just terrified of silence. Like this is, no pun intended, a silent pandemic. I feel like I say that about a lot of things, like the fertility world. And I feel like I say that a lot, but it's really true. Okay. So many people, I see it and I hear it all the time. I see it in therapy clients and family members and girlfriends and coaching clients have admitted it to me. But it's true. We live in a world that's terrified of silence. We try to fill every moment with some kind of noise. I mean, from time to time, I myself am guilty of this, but I've gotten a lot more conscious of it. We'll try to fill our time with things like music or podcasts or TV, even if it's just TV on in the background, it's still noise. Or doom scrolling is another form of this, or just busyness in general. Anything to avoid being alone with our thoughts, that's a problem. But what I want to say is, what if that thing that you're avoiding is actually the thing that ultimately can set you free. That's a heavy one. So this is something I learned in my 20s. I learned to embrace alone time. I learned to embrace silence without needing to fill it. And it was one of the best gifts I could have given to myself. And honestly, now I crave it. I crave alone time. I crave quietness, stillness. I crave it. It's where I find peace. It's where I find clarity. It's where I feel like I get my power back. It's just one of those things that we don't get enough of it in today's world. So I really try to cultivate it as much as possible in my home life. So this episode, you guys, might make you a little uncomfortable, but when do my episodes not make you uncomfortable? And that's the point, okay? That's the whole idea behind the podcast. Because on the other side of that discomfort is a version of you that is more aligned, she's more intuitive, and she's more at peace than ever before. So as a society, why we're so uncomfortable being alone is because there's been cultural conditioning around it, okay? We have been taught as a society that productivity is what we can get rewarded for. That's when a lot of times we're taught like that's what our worth comes from. And I'll be honest, in the beginning when I started my private practice, I believed that. I believed that the more successful I was, the more successful my business was, the more worthy I was. And I really had to rewrite that story and rewrite that subconscious belief because it was not helpful for me building and scaling my business. We've also been conditioned to believe that busyness equates to more success. And also silence means we're lonely or lazy. What the hell, you guys? Why do we believe these things? That just sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous to me because of how far I've come in my own growth journey. To you, it might not sound as ridiculous, but I'm telling you guys, that is ridiculous. That silence means we're lonely. That silence means we're lazy. WTFO. Absolutely not. That is not true. And I can see why people think that busyness equates to success. I can totally see that. Again, I bought into that early on as well. I don't anymore, but I totally did. Society obviously just rewards us for constantly being in motion, for constantly being distracted, for constantly doing. We get rewarded from it. We get dopamine hits from it. But in the long run, we're actually being punished because when we are not embracing stillness, we're not tuning into our intuition. Therefore, we're not experiencing as much peace or clarity. Our answers to a lot of our problems lie within us, you guys. So you need that stillness. You need that silence to unlock some of those answers. And truth bomb time, the real reason why we avoid being alone, it's not the silence itself. It's really not. It's actually because of what comes up in the silence. It's because of our thoughts that come to the surface. One example I'll give you, because I've run into this with many therapy clients, is if you have a hard time being alone with your thoughts, if you have had any past traumas that you have not yet healed from, I wouldn't be surprised if being alone with your thoughts is when thoughts around those past traumas tend to resurface. Okay, does that make sense? Like if you have not done any healing work around any kind of trauma that you've endured, whether it be a death or abuse or whatever it might be, and then when you have those moments of silence, when you can really just be alone with your thoughts and you're finding like, man, I'm having flashbacks. I'm experiencing a lot of those inner critic thoughts, negative thoughts come to the surface. This feels nasty. Oh my God, I don't like this. Oh my God, where's my phone? I have to doom scroll. Like that's literally because you have not healed from it yet, but it is possible to heal from it. So it's not that you're avoiding the silence. It's that you're avoiding your thoughts. We have a lot of unprocessed emotions, a lot of uncomfortable truths. We have things that we've been avoiding or suppressing, hence the trauma or the abuse. There's a gap between who we are now and who we are pretending to be. And if you can learn to embrace the silence and be comfortable with your own thoughts, you will bridge that gap. You will stop the pretending and be more of your authentic self, which is such a beautiful version of you. Let's talk about something that drives me absolutely crazy. We have been conditioned to believe that fixing our health has to come with a trade-off. Want better sleep? Cool, here's a pill. Oh, but here's some grogginess, dependency, and a list of other side effects. Are you struggling with your hormones? Here's medication that might help one thing, but then it's going to mess up 3 other things. It's exhausting. And honestly, it's BS. When I was going through my fertility journey, I hit a breaking point because every medication came with side effects that impacted my physical and my mental health. And I finally got to a point where I was thinking, there has to be a better way. I refuse to accept that this is just how it has to be. That's when I found Earthly Wellness, and it completely shifted how I approach my health. Here's what I love about Earthly. They believe you should be empowered to make your own informed health choices. They create herbal remedies and body care products that support your health naturally with clean, non-toxic ingredients that you can actually recognize and pronounce. There's no side effects, no junk, no parabens, no fragrance, preservatives, or common allergens like corn, soy, gluten, dairy, or nuts. Just pure, effective products that actually work. I started with their Goodnight Lotion and Immune Aid Vitamin C, and then I got into their tinctures. And honestly, every single product I've tried has been a game changer in my life. They've supported me through my fertility journey, and I genuinely would not recommend them if I didn't believe in them wholeheartedly. And I'm not the only one, you guys. I've heard from clients and listeners who've experienced incredible shifts as well. One person said, my sleep has improved a ton since using the gut health oil. It in April, and almost 2 months later, my sleep has sustained. Another person shared, my menstrual cycle has been off for years, and the only supplement I added was the gut health oil. Since starting it, my cycle has been more regular. Here's the thing, our society has normalized living with symptoms. It's messed up. Thyroid issues, hormonal imbalances, heavy, painful periods, daily bloating. We've been told that's just how it is. It's normal. But you guys, it doesn't have to be. These are symptoms, and there's an underlying root cause for all of them. Earthly has products that support not just the symptoms, but the root of what's going on. As a mental health therapist, I recommend Earthly products to my therapy clients all the time. I always suggest trying something holistic first and foremost, something that won't create dependency or side effects, and Earthly delivers on that every single time. They have products for all ages, body care, herbal remedies, vitamins, cleaning products, baby products, skincare. It's truly a one-stop shop for anyone who's ready to take their health into their own hands. So if you're tired of the side effects, tired of Band-Aid solutions, or just ready to invest in your health the right way, head to earthly.com using the link in my show notes. And here's the best part. If you're a first-time customer, you can use code CHOOSENATURAL, that's all caps, CHOOSENATURAL, for 10% off. If you're a returning customer, you can use code COMEBACK for 10% off. That's all caps, COMEBACK for 10% off as well. Your health is an investment. Make it a clean one.
Most people are afraid of their own thoughts. Like I said before, I'm a unicorn in the fact that I love being alone with my thoughts. I love what comes up for me a lot of the times. Sometimes it's like I'm looking in a mirror. Sometimes universe likes to mirror to me things that I have not yet honed in on or things that I have not yet fully healed. That can be hard at times. I will fully admit that. But ultimately, it's growth. So I just embrace it. I know it's not always that easy. I totally get that. And if that makes you afraid, that might be a sign that you should work with somebody, whether it be an energy healer or a medium or a therapist or a coach. Like if there are some major triggers coming up for you when you are alone, consider getting some professional help. Not the worst thing in the world. Honestly, the best thing I ever did for myself. So again, most people are afraid of their own thoughts. So if that's you, you're not in the minority. You're a part of the majority. What we do is we numb, we distract, and we stay busy because if we slow down, we might actually have to face something that we're not ready to see. And that's scary AF for a lot of people. Also, there is a cost to avoidance. You stay disconnected from yourself. You stay disconnected from your intuition. You stay disconnected from your inner truth, which is like the same thing as your intuition. And what you do is you live on autopilot instead of intention. And then we're not making intentional decisions. You're just doing things on autopilot, which is not always a good thing. We can form really bad habits based on autopilot. So it's not always a good thing. I really encourage you to reframe this, okay? If being alone with your thoughts scares the living shit out of you, reframe it to being alone is not the problem. Avoiding being alone is the problem. And then ask yourself, what is it that I'm ultimately avoiding? What is that thing that whenever it comes to the surface, it scares me, it hurts me, I feel ick inside? What am I avoiding? Write it down. And then, okay,
How can we overcome that? Like I said before, there's definitely an epidemic of avoiding silence, but what it really is it's an epidemic of overstimulation and constant noise. So you see this pattern everywhere. I see it, like I said, with clients, with friends, with family members, all of us. I'm guilty of it at times. We always try to fill the silence with something. We all do this. Everybody does. You cannot sit there and say you don't do this because we all do to an extent. Most people cannot even drive without a podcast. I have noticed lately that when I drive in silence, I am like wanting to check my phone more. Okay. So we all have it. A lot of times I hear people can't cook without something on in the background. I like to cook with a podcast playing in the background. I find that I like the idea of multitasking. Is it a problem? Probably. But I love that I get to learn while I'm cooking. I love that. A lot of people can't sit in a waiting room without their phone in front of them. You even see it like we're teaching this to our kids, which I think is a huge problem. Kids no longer are allowed to be bored, which is sad. It's okay to be bored. Let them embrace being bored. Kids will come to you and complain that they're bored. And a lot of times parents feel like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? It's like, no, let them. Just let them. They'll be okay. That's an opportunity to use their imagination. I like to, when kids say they're bored, I like to do things like, okay, let's play I Spy with My Little Red Eye. What do you see? Like, let's make up a story together. Look around the room. What do you see? Like, let's people watch. Like, there's always something you could be doing that doesn't require a screen. But what I encourage you as an adult to do, if this is something you struggle with to more of a severe degree, is ask yourself those hard questions. When was the last time you sat in complete silence for 5, 10, 15 minutes? I'm talking like no distractions, you guys. Just you and your thoughts. For most people, the answer to that is never, or they can't remember. And if I'm being honest, it's gotten a lot better for me, but it's still not as often as it could be. Because even when I meditate, I have music on in the background. I have meditative music playing. So this is very rare for us. We live in a world where there's constant stimulation. So why does this matter? Why am I talking about this? Because when you never give yourself space to just be, to just sit in silence, you never give yourself space to hear your higher self or your intuition. And your intuition gets drowned out by the constant noise. And like I said before, the answers to a lot of our problems lies within. But if we are not taking the time to embrace the silence and the stillness and go within, then those answers, you're searching for them elsewhere and you might never find them. So my challenge to you is to really just challenge the norm. Society tells us that being busy and stimulated 24/7 is the new normal. Just because it's normal does not mean it's okay, though. That's why I've gotten away from Western medicine, because I find that they normalize so many things that don't and shouldn't be normal. Just because it's common does not mean it's healthy for us. Let's really try to challenge those common things, those norms. They don't have to be norms. And a lot of times they're not healthy for us. I want to talk a little bit about the magic that happens when you do embrace silence. Like what becomes possible for you when you finally get more comfortable being alone. One thing is you get to reconnect with your intuition. Your intuition is literally always speaking to you. It's just that we don't allow for enough silence to really hear it. It gets drowned out a lot, you guys. And you can't hear it over the noise. You just can't. So when you embrace the silence, you are creating the space for your inner voice to come through more clearly. And you would be so surprised. I guarantee you'd be taken aback by the amount of clarity and answers that come up for you as you start to practice embracing silence. It is wild, you guys, how much clarity comes out of embracing silence. You just start to know things without needing that external validation, and you can trust yourself more. And that is such a great feeling. Like you can't put a price tag on that. Okay. It's like an inner knowing. It's hard to explain, but like as you get more in tune with your intuition, you just know things more. Another magical thing that happens when you sit in silence more is you're going to gain more clarity. When you are constantly distracted, your thoughts are literally all over the place. I mean, they are scattered. Think of it like Legos thrown out of the toy box all over the floor. First of all, ouch, don't walk. But literally, that's what I envision. That's what comes to my mind. But if we can remove those distractions, let the silence come in, that is when the focus comes in. We are more focused. you start to see what actually matters versus what you've been filling your life with to avoid feeling. That's fucking heavy, okay? Because a lot of us are avoiding feeling something by filling those silent moments. So, what have you been filling your life with to avoid feeling? Whether it be alcohol or shopping, online shopping, doom scrolling, listening to podcasts, whatever you're filling your life with to avoid feeling, what is that? Name that. Another magical part of embracing silence is you can process emotions more productively. Therefore, you can heal from them as well. Silence actually gives you the space to feel what you've been suppressing. And we, as a society, this is not your fault, but as a society, we have gotten so used to suppressing emotions. You guys, research says that you just have to sit with an emotion for 90 seconds to process it. 90 seconds. Like, set a timer, feel the emotion, and then you can let it go on its merry way. That is not a lot of time. But what we do is we avoid and we suppress. And you're not healing if you're suppressing. Silence gives you the space to feel what you've been suppressing. Instead of numbing or distracting, you actually work through whatever it is that's been weighing you down. That can be powerful work. And you don't need a professional to work through that. You can. I'm not saying you can't, but you don't actually need one. When you embrace the silence, when you process these emotions, this is where real healing happens. It doesn't happen in the busyness. It actually happens in the stillness. I can attest to that for sure. That's why it's so important to me to go out into nature at least twice a week, because I feel like that's where a lot of healing happens for me. That's where a lot of downloads happen for me. Another magical thing that comes out of embracing silence is you become more of a present person. And if you are being honest with yourself, I bet you are not present very often. When I look at the relationships in my life, I have a select few who I feel are more present, but a lot of us are guilty of not being, myself included. When you are comfortable in silence, that means you're comfortable in the here and the now. That means you stop needing constant stimulation to feel okay. That's an amazing feeling, you guys. And you can actually enjoy like a quiet morning, a solo walk, a meal by yourself without needing to fill it with something. I have slowly gotten better and better at this. I eat breakfast by myself at my kitchen table every morning. I'm not always listening to a podcast when I do. I would say about 50% of the time, I'm eating breakfast in silence. It's a wonderful feeling. Try it if you have not done it. I can only do this on the days that I work from home, but I love it. So any of those like little moments in your day, if you can try to do them without the distraction, without the noise, try it. Just see how it goes. The first couple times, I guarantee you're going to be uncomfortable. It might give you a little bit of discomfort, maybe a little bit of ick. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. It's like a muscle. It gets stronger over time, but just try it. Start with once a week, increase it from there. Try to remove whatever it is you're filling that with, whatever that noise is you're filling it with. The last magical thing that comes out of embracing silence is you can actually hear the answers that you've been searching for. I alluded to this earlier. The answers to your biggest questions are not out there. They're not at the hands of an expander or your coach or your therapist or your best friend or your mom or your dad or your sister. They're actually inside of you. The answers to your biggest questions are in you, but you can't access them if you're not letting yourself slow down. Silence is where those downloads happen, where those intuitive hits happen, where those breakthroughs come in at, where your next level self whispers those little truths that you need to hear, but you're always too busy to hear. Allow for silence, allow for those answers to come through. It is so freaking powerful when you do, you guys. So freaking powerful. Like, I get such a dopamine hit when I get an intuitive hit or a download that comes in. Like, I have to voice memo my girlfriends and be like, oh my gosh, let me share with you this download that just came in. Holy shit, so powerful. I probably do it like once a day, truth be told, because it just like really fills me up. Okay, let's pivot just a little bit. Why is this so hard? And let's just be okay with the hardness, okay? I want you to acknowledge that, yes, there is discomfort with this, that sitting in silence is hard, especially at first, especially if you've been avoiding it for years, which you probably have been because a lot of us have been. And here's what might come up for you if you have been avoiding silence for years. Anxiety might come up, restlessness might come up, uncomfortable emotions like grief, anger, sadness, shame. You might have thoughts that come up that you've really been pushing down for years. You might start to have realizations about your life that you are not ready to face. Like I said, sometimes universe, God, source, whoever will put a mirror in front of my face. That can be hard at times, but it's also where I grow the most. So I embrace it. That's not always easy. I'm being honest with you. It's not always easy. But let's normalize this fear, okay? A lot of us are scared of what might come up when we're alone. You're not in the minority there. Everybody's scared of what might come up in their thoughts. And that fear is totally valid. You are allowed to feel that fear, but it's not the bad fear, okay? It's actually a good fear. That fear is valid. It's a sign that this work is necessary. It's a sign that you are ready to heal. Let it come to the surface. Let yourself feel it. Lean into it. Embrace it. And then again, you're strengthening a muscle. So the next time this happens, it's going to get easier and easier and easier over time. I want to reframe the discomfort for you because I think that's really important. It's a good tool as well. The fact that it's hard literally means that there's something there worth facing. My right ear just started ringing after I said that. That was loud. I think Spirit's trying to tell me something. That's so crazy. I was not planning on that. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The fact that it's hard means that there is something there that is worth facing, okay? It might be hard, it might be scary, but it's worth facing because when you face it, there's a version of you on the other side that is strong AF. She's empowered. She is ready to conquer. So let yourself face it because the discomfort is actually the doorway to growth. The discomfort is the doorway to growth. You need to walk through that door. Maybe that's what Spirit was telling me with the ear ringing. Like, there's a door I need to walk through. Maybe that's what it is. So I'm going to give you a permission slip. Okay. Here's your permission slip. It's 444. A lot of synchronicities coming. I think this is a sign that I'm still learning this lesson myself, honestly. Wow. Okay. Here's your permission slip. You don't have to sit in silence for hours. That's so unrealistic if you're not used to it. Okay. What I want you to do is give yourself permission to start with just 5 minutes a day. And then a week later, increase it to 10. And then just build that muscle slowly over time. It's okay if it feels awkward. It's okay if it feels uncomfortable. That's all a part of the process, you guys. Embrace the discomfort. That was my motto my first year of being a school social worker. I was telling myself that motto daily. Embrace the discomfort. Embrace the discomfort. Tell it to yourself and your mind will comply. Okay. Just some quick tips that I want to give you guys, how you can start to get comfortable with silence and solitude. I'm going to run through these rather quickly because I don't want this to be a super lengthy episode. Okay, these are just some practical ways to help ease the discomfort, to help ease the anxiety that you might feel as you practice this. First, just give yourself permission to slow down. You don't have to earn rest. It's not something you should earn. You don't have to be productive every second of every day. That's unrealistic. Slowing down does not mean you're lazy, okay? Contrary to what most people believe, it's not. It's actually you being strategic. It's how you stay aligned. It's how you gain clarity. It's how you stay grounded. Take things off your calendar, okay? Literally schedule time into your calendar to just be alone. Block it off like you would a meeting with somebody, like you would a podcast recording, like you would a client session. Put it in your calendar. Silence, downtime, rest. Schedule it for yourself. And then do not self-sabotage when that time comes up. Say no to any plans once that's in your calendar. Embrace it. Give it to yourself. It doesn't have to be a full hour, okay? You blocked it off. Hold that space sacred, okay? That is a sacred part of your day. Hold it. Do not self-sabotage. Protect your solitude like it is sacred because it really is. Because like I said, there's answers that just need to come up that you're not facing or you're not hearing. So again, start small. Just practice micro moments of silence. Ooh, I love that term. Micro moments. That's a good one. Love that. I did not come up with that. 5 minutes in the morning before you grab your phone. 5 minutes. Stay laying in bed for an extra 5 minutes because you probably do it anyways. Let's be honest. 5 minutes in the morning before you grab your phone. Just lay there in silence. Listen to what comes up for you. If you do a daily walk, do it without your headphones or without your speaker, without your Bluetooth in your head. Try that. If you typically cook dinner, do it without anything on in the background. I will practice that, but I'm not going to lie. I struggle with that because I really do love multitasking when I cook. Whenever you're driving to the office, sit in your car for a few minutes before you go inside. 5 minutes, set a timer, sit there in silence. Don't go on your phone. Do not scroll on your phone. It's so tempting, but do not do it. Just build this tolerance slowly, you guys, slowly over time, but you're going to be building that muscle and you're going to notice how it grows and grows and grows. It's magnetic. Okay, last couple. Sit with the discomfort, okay? It's going to be uncomfortable, but you have to learn to embrace it. When the urge to grab your phone or turn on the TV comes up for you, force yourself to pause. Don't hit the button. Don't turn your phone on. Don't turn the TV on. Pause, notice what you're feeling, like notice that urge that's coming up for you, and then don't judge yourself, but just sit with it. And then after the fact, ask yourself, what am I avoiding right now? What am I afraid to feel? Why do I need to have this on? What might come up if I keep silence in the house? And then let whatever comes up, come up. Okay. Don't push it back down. You don't have to fix it in that moment. You don't have to solve it in that moment, but at least witness it, at least name it, at least recognize it. And then later, when you have some free time after the kids go to bed, journal what comes up for you. After you sit in silence, write down what you notice, put it into your phone and tell yourself, I'm going to journal on this later. What thoughts come up for you? What feelings surface for you? What did your intuition say to you? Doing this helps you process, and then it also shows you the value of the silence. You will actually start to see the clarity come through more and more. You will notice insights that come up for you that you weren't getting before. I'm telling you, it's such powerful work. And then the last tip is just create a ritual around this, you guys. Make this a sacred part of your routine. Light a candle when you do it. Brew tea when you do it. Sit in your favorite spot in the house or outside when you do it. Of course, if you live in the Midwest, it's probably inside this time of year. Make this ritual like a signal to your nervous system that this is safe for me to do, that this is intentional, that this is sacred, and this is a gift for myself. And then over time, your nervous system is going to really embrace that. Like I said before, I really learned this in my 20s, how to embrace silence more and more. I'm not a pro at it, I wouldn't say, but I've gotten a lot better at it than I used to be. I love being in silence in my home. That's why I love being home, because I just crave that silence. And our home is like my sacred space. I love it. It's like my sanctuary. And when I learned to embrace the silence, there was definitely this shift from like feeling awkward and restless to now I'm in a place where I like crave it. I can't get enough of it. And now today, the version of me today, I could spend an entire day at home by myself or even with Augie here, and I don't have to turn the TV on. I don't have to listen to a podcast. So I do love listening to them, but I don't have to. I don't have to have music on. I love a silent home. I really do. That was not me 5-10 years ago, though. And what I want to reiterate to you guys is the silence is not empty. It's actually full of answers. It's full of presence. It's full of peace, clarity. It's full of connection to your higher self. And there's a ripple effect that happens when you embrace it. When you learn to be comfortable in silence, it makes you more in tune with your intuition than ever before. And then you can trust yourself more. You're going to make better decisions in the long run, which who can't use that from time to time? Because then you know what you need. You hear the whispers before they even become screams, which is so freaking powerful to our healing journey. Don't let the whispers become screams. You'll hear them as whispers, and then you'll know what you need to do. So again, I really want to reframe this for you. Silence is not something to fear. It is where you find yourself again. Ooh, that's a good quote. It's where you find yourself again. Okay. One last thing I want to say about this is with our intuition, that connection between silence and intuition is like your intuition speaks to us in whispers oftentimes. And when we don't listen to those whispers, then they become bigger. They become nudges. And then when we don't listen to those nudges, they become bigger and it becomes like a boulder. And then the boulder becomes a rhino. And like over time, they get stronger and stronger. But if you learn to tune in to your intuition, you can hear the whispers, but you can't hear those whispers if you're constantly distracted. And when you give yourself space to just be still in the silence, then your intuition becomes louder and it's not just a whisper. You actually start to know things and you're like, how did I know that? It's just your intuition. And then you learn to trust it more. The problem that most people have though is they hear their intuition, but then they're constantly second guessing themselves because of the constant noise or clutter in their life. They look for external validation elsewhere with friends, with social media. You might ask like 10 people for advice before you listen to yourself, but you just start to know, okay, There's a shift that happens when you embrace silence, when you spend more time alone. You're building that trust with yourself, and then you stop needing that external validation, those other outside opinions, because now you know and you can own that knowing. That's a really powerful superpower. And then when an intuitive hit comes in, you can honor it. You don't question it anymore. You don't have to rationalize it away. You can trust it and then just see what happens from trusting it. Because your intuition never lies, you guys. It never leads you astray. But you overthinking, that leads you astray. The more time you spend in silence, the easier it becomes to tell the difference. Okay. So again, choose to be alone over filling the silence. Choose to sit in silence. Choose to slow down. These are radical acts, you guys, that has a huge ROI for you and your healing journey. We live in a world that wants you to be overstimulated, overworked, disconnected from yourself at the expense of what? Losing yourself? Literally losing yourself. When you prioritize solitude, what you are saying is, I matter, my peace matters, my inner voice matters. That is such a beautiful gift to give yourself. And then again, I want to reframe for you. Being alone is not you being lonely. It's liberating. It's like freedom. It's where you remember who you are underneath all the noise, all the expectations, all the hats that you wear, the roles that you play. So I invite you, what if you stop running from yourself and just run towards yourself? What if the silence is not something you're going to fear anymore, but it's going to be something that you come home to? Okay, one last reminder. What if everything you've been searching for, the clarity, the peace, the answers, the alignment, what if it's already inside of you, but you can't access it if you don't give yourself permission to slow down? You don't need more information. You don't need more advice, more opinions, more noise. You need more stillness. You need to hear yourself more. So my challenge, again, just commit 5-10 minutes, whatever feels right for you. Every day, commit 5 to 10 minutes of silence. No phone, no music, no distractions, just you. Sit with whatever comes up and then notice the shifts as you face that. All right, guys, I would love to hear from you. If you do the challenge, please DM me. Let me know how it goes, what comes up for you, and then just normalize the discomfort and then celebrate the breakthroughs as they come up. And then if there's somebody in your life that you think could also benefit from this, please share the episode with them. Put it in your stories, tag me. I really appreciate it. And then if you haven't rated or reviewed the podcast, please take a minute and do that as well. I really appreciate it. It helps to get the podcast out to more listeners. And like I said at the start of the episode, if you would like to go deeper on these topics, subscribe to my weekly newsletter because we dive even deeper. And I promise we can all benefit from that depth. All right, I'm going to check out. I'm going to go allow for some silence while I drive to pick up my son from daycare. That's just going to be my 5 minutes of silence for the evening. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. I can't wait to talk to you guys all next week.
Real quick before you go, I just want to thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. And congratulations on showing up for you. Every step you take to invest in yourself brings you that much closer to your next level self, and I'm so proud of you. If you loved this episode, share it with someone who could use a little inspiration, or take a screenshot and tag me on socials so we can keep spreading the next level you energy. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Let's freaking go!